Hello everyone. Today we will study about water pollution. What is 70% of our body made up of? Yes, 70% of our body is made up of water. Now, where is water used in daily life? It is used in bathing, in washing utensils, in flowering the plants, drinking, cooking, and cleaning of clothes or washing clothes. So we can see that water holds a very important part of our. Now, what are the water resources or from where do we get water? We get water from oceans, ponds, rivers, streams and lakes. Water from these resources are collected in dams, then cleaned, and then the clean water reaches us from the resources like municipality and. Now, what can you see in these images? Yes, we can see that water being polluted in different ways. We will study about water pollution. Now, what is water pollution? Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually as a result of human activities. Water bodies include, for example, lakes, rivers, oceans, aquifers, and groundwater. We studied this in the previous slide. Water pollution results when contamination are introduced into the natural environment. Now, what are causes of water pollution? First is domestic sewage. Domestic sewage is the primary source of pathogens, and pathogens are disease-causing microorganisms. Because of pathogens are excreted in fecus, all sewage from the cities and towns is likely to contain pathogens of some type, potentially presenting a direct threat to public health. Domestic sewage is also a major source of plant nutrients, mainly nitrates and phosphates. But excess nitrates and phosphates in water promote the growth of algae, sometimes causing unusual dense and rapid growths known as algal blooms. When the algae die, oxygen dissolved in the water declines because microorganisms use oxygen to digest algae during the process of decomposition. Next is toxic waste. Water is considered toxic if it is poisonous, radioactive, and explosive. Sources of toxic chemicals include improperly disposed wastewater from industrial plants and chemical process facilities, as well as surface runoff containing pesticides used on agriculture areas and suburban lawns. Next is sediment. Sediment resulting from soil erosion can be carried into water bodies by surface runoff. Suspended sediment interferes with the penetration of sunlight and upsets the ecological balance of body of water. Also, it can disrupt the reproductive cycles of fish and other forms of life. Next is thermal pollution. Heat is considered to be a water pollutant because it decreases the capacity of water to hold dissolved oxygen in solution, and it increases the rate of metabolism of fish. Valuable species of game fish cannot survive in water with very low levels of dissolved oxygen. A major source of heat is the practice of discharging cooling water from power plants into rivers. The discharged water may be as much as 15 degrees Celsius warmer than the naturally occurring water. Next is petroleum pollution. Petroleum or oil pollution occurs when oil from roads and parking lots is carried in surface runoff into water bodies. Accidental oil spills are also a source of water pollution or causes of petroleum pollution in water. Next is groundwater. Water contained in the underground in geological formations called aquifers is a source of drinking water for many people. For example, about half of the people in the United States depend on the groundwater for their domestic water supply. Although groundwater may appear crystal clear, due to the natural filtration that occurs as it flows slowly through the layers of soil. It may be still be polluted by dissolved chemicals and by bacteria and viruses. This long-term effects of water pollution. First is less productivity of farming. Why does this happen? The addition of undesirable substance to water bodies. These substances could be fertilizers and pesticides used in farming, or they could be poisonous substances like mercury salts which are used in paper industries. These could also be disease causing organisms like the bacteria which causes cholera. Next is removal of dissolved oxygen from water bodies. The removal of desirable substances from water bodies. Dissolved oxygen is used by the animals and plants that live in water. Any change that reduces the amount of this dissolved oxygen would adversely affect these aquatic organisms. Other nutrients could also be dependent from the water bodies. Next is change in temperature. Aquatic organisms are used to a certain range of temperature in the water body where they live, and a sudden marked change in this temperature would be dangerous for them or affect their breeding. The eggs and larvae of various animals are particularly susceptible at these temperatures. So these were the long-term effects of water pollution. Thank you, and if you have any doubt, ask in the comment section.